it's Calysta. Wanted to chat with you guys today about KvK videos where I basically kind of tag along and kind of stick together a bunch of kind of like highlights from every specific KvK. And the question that pops up every now and then is, what do I do to get ready for KvK? Which I think is a great question. And I am very careful and mindful of getting ready for KvK. It's a big undertaking. So the very first thing that I do is stack up on relocators. Now you can see this is post KvK, so it's looking kind of sad. And I would say random relocators are really important, but relocators, like the specific ones that you can target to specific tiles, are incredibly important. And the reason for that is whether or not you're defending or attacking, I tend to focus completely on defending my kingdom. It's totally what jazzes me up and gets me excited. I love releasing prisoners. It's like the best feeling ever. So you're going to notice that the easiest way to get chords is to basically review your own world chat. And you can see people posting chords, you know, help me, my hive is being attacked. The second piece is resources. So I want to make sure I have enough resources to heal. You never want to be caught in a situation where you're out of resources, you don't have enough to heal, and there isn't anyone around that you can ask to trade with, or the guild bank is in another kingdom or whatever. So you want to make sure you have that set up. The third piece is going to be your talents. You want to make sure you're in the right talent spec. I can't tell you how many times people that have done KvK for a long time are like, oh shit, I just realized I was in the wrong spec and I was attacking. Happens all the time, right? You just pop your shield, you're super excited. Let's assume that your guild decides to take a base and you just go and you start hitting and you're kind of looking at your numbers like, what's going on? It's going to be your talent set. So you want to make sure you have that ready to go. I also always like to do a final check from a jewel perspective. I want to make sure that I have the best jewels in my gear. So I'm going to do a quick check to make sure that out of all the jewels that I've opened from jewel boxes and things like that, do I have the opportunity to make something golden? So switching out a purple cav attack jewel for a golden cav attack jewel makes perfect sense. So you want to make sure that you are not missing out on those opportunities. I think it's a great chance to just do your sanity checks, right? You're going to make sure you have your right gear, your right talent spec. You're going to double check your gems. I do. You're going to make sure you have the right resources. You're going to also want to make sure that you have the right amount of just boosts and items that are pretty necessary. What I mean by that are, in addition to the relocators, there are also important things that you're going to need. You're going to need to make sure you have shields. I have 207. I'm very lucky to be in an extremely active guild, but I remember the time where I would have to buy my shields. And you want to make sure that you have shields, because with Battle Fury, you are going to be in a pretty vulnerable position for you know, a certain set of time. As soon as the time is over, if you're not actively attacking or if people are about to attack you, you want to make sure you have the right amount of shields. Another thing to keep in mind that I always will use is an attack boost. Hurt, guys, make sure that you get those attack boosts. 56,300 guild coins, not extremely expensive. I always pop on a 20% attack boost, and I also always use a 20% army size boost. Much more expensive, but very helpful, because oftentimes this is a game of numbers. If you're going to go, you know, 200,000 versus 300,000, you're going to have a lot more losses, even if you have considerably better gear, than if you send in 300,000 versus 300,000 as an example. So you want to make sure that you're sending as many troops out to attack as possible, but that increased army size boost can also be very helpful when you're sheltering. It gives you the opportunity to shelter more troops. So how cool is that, right? You can send more troops out when you're trying to hide them. So it's incredibly helpful. Another thing is anti-scout. I cannot tell you how many times I am so surprised to see so many people that have no idea how to use their anti-scout. They're literally sitting there for like 15 minutes just like, blah, look at everything I've got. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you are running anti-scout all the time. If you're not actively like attacking, you should have your anti-scout on. I think that's always a big question, is when do I pop one off versus another? I think when you're surrounded by guys that are potentially stronger than you, definitely pop in anti-scout. It is going to be considerably more helpful because you add the element of surprise. If you're, you know, 70, 80, 90, 100 million might, I would totally think twice if you have anti-scout on. But if I can see what you have, even if it's a lot of troops, I can feel a bit more confident and I'm much more likely to attack you. So keep that in mind. I hope you guys keep enjoying enjoying the KvK videos. I have such a blast in KvK. My guild takes it incredibly seriously. If you guys have questions, comments, let me know. Thank you so much for watching.